Hey everyone, Thrash Metalhead Mania here, back with a brand new video, and today, 2021 has been a great year for metal, in terms of albums, and even concerts came back somewhat, but anyways, albums. It's been a great year for metal, in terms of that, and this is an idea that I've had for a little bit, which isn't exactly an original idea, because people have done it before, but it's the top 10 metal albums of the year, and yeah, so a lot of people have already done theirs, and I just want to start doing mine now. So here we go, top 10 metal albums of the year. Number 10, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. Now this album, I was contemplating on actually putting it on the list because it's kind of iffy with me. Like, I feel I have to because it's Iron Maiden, but it's about a 7 out of 10, so it's kind of one of those things. Like, yeah. My favourite song of it is probably the title track Senjutsu or Stratego. Most likely Stratego, though. It's very proggy. Like a lot of the newer Maiden albums, they're very proggy. And yeah, that's kind of a thing with them now. Anyways, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu, number 10. Now, number 9 is Cradle of Filth, Existence is Futile. Now, Cradle of Filth are a controversial band in heavy metal. They've been, they kind of started as a mixture of, gothic metal and symphonic black metal. And, this album is pretty much just symphonic metal with gothic metal. And this is the first album without Lindsay Schoolcraft. And it has a chick called Annabelle on it. So she's doing the stuff for it now. And, she does a good job with it. Not as good as Lindsay, but see the artwork, so there's that classic cradle to it. It was released on Nuclear Blast Records, as you can see. And yeah, so that's at number 9. Right, number 8 is Trivium in the Court of the Dragon. Now, this album is a, I usually hate metalcore and just core genres, metalcore, deathcore. I just find them shitty, like, wannabe metal. Not poser metal, because a lot of people say that, but I don't even think that exists, really. But Trivium is an exception, along with Killswitch Engage and a few other bands, like Bullet for My Valentine. Some of Bullet for My Valentine, some of it is kind of shitty, but, you know. This album was released on Roadrunner Records, and I actually really like it. It's a solid album. It's a solid 8 out of 10, really. Or 7.5 out of 10, maybe, but they're a band that only really have one bad album, which is Silence in the Snow. Thanks, Matt Heafy. Just kidding. But this album is great, and Matt Heafy is bald now, as you can see. But anyways, Trivium in the Court of the Dragon at number 8. By the way, this video was a pain to do. I've tried many takes, so this is hopefully the final take, and if it is, you're seeing it, and then it is the final take. Now, number 7 is Cannibal Corpse, Violence Unimagined. Now, Cannibal Corpse are a love 'em or hate 'em death metal band. Personally, I love the dudes. I think they're a creative death metal band, or at least creative for the time, maybe not anymore, but yeah, I think they're a great death metal band, and this album proves that they still got it, and a lot of people seem to bring up the Chris Barnes or Corpse Grinder argument. In my opinion, in terms of albums, I prefer Chris Barnes, but in terms of vocals, I prefer Corpse Grinder, because, you know, isn't that? And yeah. Comment your favourite Cannibal Corpse album as well. Mine's Tomb of the Mutilated. And then comment with your favourite one with, Corpse Grinder. Mine's probably Kill. This one's up there, though. Anyways, Violence Unimagined by Cannibal Corpse at number 7. Now, number 6 is At the Gates, The Nightmare of Being. Now, At the Gates are a melodic death metal band that kind of created the melodic death metal genre as a whole. And in my opinion, they're the kings of that genre. Their album Slaughter of the Soul pretty much invented it, and Slaughter of the Soul is a phenomenal album and should be in anyone's collection. And I'm probably gonna get it soon. I can't believe I don't already have it. I know. Shame on me, right? I don't have it. But this album is really, really good, and it's right up there with Slaughter of the Soul. Right up there with that, and all of that stuff. It's right up there. And I love this album. It's near and dear to my heart. I really like this album a lot. It's just a great album, and it's a solid 8.5 out of 10, I'd say. 8.5 out of 10. It's a great album. Good melodic death metal. Great album. Anyways, that was At the Gates of Nightmare of Being at number 6. Now, at number 5 is Carcass, Torn Arteries. Now, Carcass are a band that started in grindcore, which is one of the very few core genres I actually like, and they slowly went more in a death metal direction with Heartwork and stuff like that, and Symphony of the Sickness was their second album, and was probably the last proper grindcore one with a grindcore elements to it. But this album, they released Surgical Steel in 2013, I believe, and it was their first album in many, many years, and I think it's pretty good. It's a phenomenal album, if you will. It's all killer, no filler, and so is this album. This album is great. Kelly's Meat something, I can't remember what it's called, but this album is a phenomenal album. No bad tracks, all killer, no filler. And Carcass are a band that only really have one proper bad album, which Swan Song. Yeah, I think you knew that was coming. But yeah, this album it's really great. I love it. It's one of the better death metal albums of the year, along with Violence Unimagined by Cannibal Corpse, obviously. But this album is great, and I love it. It's near and dear to my heart. So yeah, that was Carcass, Torn Arteries at number 5. Now, number 4 is Fear Factory, Fear Factory, Aggression Continuum. Now, this album, Fear Factory are my favourite industrial metal band. For those of you who don't know, I know they just mix industrial metal with groove metal and alt metal, but I think they do it really, really well, and they're a great band. And Dino Gojira is a great guitarist and a cool guy overall. And I actually saw his signature guitar at a guitar store in Wanneroo, Australia, Perth, Australia. If you don't know, if you don't live in Australia, because if you couldn't tell, I'm an Aussie. You could kind of tell from my accent. If you couldn't, then you probably thought I was, I don't know. But this album is great. And my favourite album by them is probably The Manufacturer Digimortal. But this album is a great album. I really love it. Unfortunately, it's the last one with Burton C. Bell, which is a real bummer, and it was released on Nuclear Blast Records, which is awesome. My favourite song on it is either Disruptor or End of Line. Aggression Continuum, the title track, is great, and so is Fuel Injected Suicide Machine. Now, that was Fear Factory, Aggression Continuum at number 4. Now, at number 3 is progressive death metal, melodic death metal, whatever you want to call it. Great, their drummer is great, but this one's Gojira, Fortitude by Gojira. Now, this album is a phenomenal album. I love it near and dear to my heart, and it is pretty neat. And my favourite song is probably Amazonia. I think that's on it, but yeah, and Mario Duplantier, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's on Drumeo. He's been nominated Best Metal Drummer of the Year, so you should probably vote him. He's a fantastic drummer, and his brother's the singer of the band. And yeah, this album is great. My favourite album by them is Magma, but this one's great too. And it's really up there with Magma and all that type of stuff. And anyways, that was Gojira, Fortitude, number 3. Now, number 2 is Evil, Hell Unleashed. Now, Evil are a modern day neo-thrash band that from England, that are Sheffield, I think, England. Kind of like Bring Me the Horizon, but they're better than Bring Me the Horizon, obviously, because they're thrash, like Exodus. But this band is really good, and this is the first one with Old Rake on vocals and Adam Smith from Riptide on rhythm guitar. And Old Rake was the lead guitarist, but now he does lead guitar and vocals because the previous vocalist left. But this is his great debut as vocalist and lead guitarist. So this is really pretty neat, and I really like it. And yeah, my favorite song on it is probably the title track, but a close runner-up is the I can't remember what it's called. The song, The Thing 1982, which is great because The Thing is one of my favorite horror movies, and I think that's like a tribute. Another great one is Gore. But yeah, now that album's 9.5 out of 10. Actually, no, 9.10 out of 10. Now we're now at number 1. Now what could it be? It's gonna be number 1 is Persona Non Grata by Exodus. You can kind of tell I was wearing the shirt, and Exodus is my favorite all-time band, and they have a close space. They have a really special place in my heart, and this album is no exception. I really love this album. I've been waiting for it for a damn long time. It was released on Nuclear Blast Records on November 19th, and my favorite song in it is Slipping Into Madness, but another great one from it is Lunatic Liar Law, and like, you know, the singles, The Years of Death and Dying, The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Approves, you know, Clickbait, all of those good stuff. But yeah, it's been a pretty good album, and anyways, and this one's a solid 10 out of 10, and it's pretty self-explanatory that it's my favorite album of the year. Anyways, I think I'm going to end the video here. Tell me what your favourite album of 2021 was in the comments below. See you guys later, and remember to stay brutal.